Hello YouTube, I'm Toby, and today I am building a Ryzen 3 budget gaming PC. Now this is actually my first Ryzen build. It's with the R3 1200 Ryzen processor, which is a 4-core, 4-thread CPU in the budget range. So I am very excited to see what exactly this processor is capable of. So without further ado, let's go over the components. So we have our Ryzen 3, we have 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and we are using a AsRock A320M motherboard. This is a micro ATX that will go in our micro ATX case. Over here we have a 500 gigabyte Toshiba hard drive. We have an GeForce GTX 1050. And down here we have a RaptorXX 550 watt power supply, a Arctic F8 exhaust fan, and right here we have a wireless modem. I'm not sure if I'll actually be able to fit this in the case, but I guess I'm going to give it a try. And this right here is the InterTech MA09 mini ITX case. I've never worked on this case before, but I have worked on the the MA01, I believe it was, and it worked quite well. So I am excited to see how well this case holds up. Now the power supply, the fan, and the wireless adapter I had on hand, and I did not purchase those, but the rest of the components, I believe they were 3,500 crowns. I'll leave somewhere around the screen what that is in dollars, but don't give me shit of this being overpriced, because here in Denmark we do pay 25% sales tax, and prices are generally higher, so that's probably why you'll see the prices don't correspond that well with American prices. Alright, so the build is pretty much complete hardware-wise. Something I've noticed, other than this looking like shit, is that it's difficult to route cables behind the motherboard. Even though this is a micro ATX case, it does not seem like it exactly wants to fit them. And when you are installing a 3.5-inch hard drive, you will need a a mini ITX graphics card. Otherwise you're going to run into some pretty serious trouble space-wise. I also noticed with this the placement of this AMD cooler, I might be able to do it differently if I flipped it around, but the clearance right here to the number 1 RAM slot is horrible. But you may be able to get around this by turning the cooler around, but for right now I've installed my RAM in the 2nd DIMM slot. Something I am very disappointed about this case is that it does not come with a built-in cooling fan in the front. I know my other case I bought did, and also, like I said, routing cables is a nightmare in this computer, and if I wasn't so pressed on time I would definitely seek a better job, but it is what it is for right now. I just want to see if it actually works. Alright, let's try and turn on the power. And, well, definitely seems like it's doing something. Let's turn the TV on. See if we actually get a signal to this computer. It says it's connecting. I don't think we have an actual output yet. This is interesting. Oh, something's happening now. AsRock. Alright, so we do have power. I do not yet have an operating system for this thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and make me a Windows 10 boot USB drive. Things are going pretty well. I've started installing Windows 10, but I've noticed there's some coil whine in the power supply and the exhaust fan is making some weird clicking noise. So I'm definitely going to have to take a look at this at a later time, but for right now I'm going to just simply install Windows 10. Just to figure out how powerful the Ryzen 3 1200 CPU is, I've decided to run Cinebench just to get an idea of the capabilities of this system. Alright, so our Cinebench score for the Ryzen 3 processor was 393. Honestly expected more, but it's not going to be a huge issue, regarding that this system is pretty much just going to be a gamer PC. Now, in case you didn't know, this is the Resident Evil 6 benchmarking test. This is a tool I'm very fond of because it gives me a pretty good idea of what kind of games this computer is capable of running. Right now we're running at roughly 100, well, it's hovering between 100 and 200 frames per second, and you can see the score is pretty good. I'll get back to you once the benchmark is over. Alright, so we got a score of 16,466 and a rank of S, which means that this system is more than capable of running this game. Alright YouTube, so that was pretty much it for this video. I still need to do some work with the drivers and all that, but all in all I'm very happy with how this system turned out given the price. Alright, so just a quick word before this video ends. I delivered the computer and the guy says it works perfectly fine. It plays Arma III and Fallout 4 at very high settings, and he is very happy about the computer. We also got what's it called, Playerunknown battlegrounds to run a lot smoother on it. One of my friends had a code that would make it utilize all 4 cores instead of just 1 core, because for some reason Playerunknown battlegrounds only runs on 1 core from when you start up, but there is some kind of code somewhere you can find that allows it to utilize more cores. So, to answer the question, is the Ryzen 3 1200 and the GTX 150 a good combination? I would say it's definitely a great combination for a budget build, because it offers you a lot in terms of price to performance. You're not going to get the highest core speeds or the highest CPU speeds or instructions per clock, but you're definitely getting a very good deal with the Ryzen 3 1200, and the GTX 150 also offers a very good deal because it's a fairly cheap card, and yet it gives you a very, very high graphics resolution. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it, and thank you very much for watching.